Vitakkasantthana.
Namo Buddhaya, Bhante. Do I have your permission to start the session, Bhante?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome all to our weekly Dhamma learning sessions. Today we are going to go through Vitakkasantthana Sutta, and our teacher today is Venerable Bhante Piyananda from USA. So those
I don't know.
Sorry, Bhante, I lost my connection. So I'm back. Namo Buddhaya, everybody. Welcome to our weekly Dhamma learning session today. Today, our topic is Vitakkasantthana Sutta, and our teacher is Venerable Bhante Piyananda from USA. So Bhante Piyananda is very well known in USA, but I just wanted to kind of introduce Bhante to those who don't know or haven't heard about him. Bhante was ordained in Sri Lanka as a novice monk at the age of 12 and earned his BA degree from Kelaniya University in Sri Lanka. He earned an MA from Calcutta University and another MA degree from Northwestern University. Bhante Piyananda earned 2 PhDs, one from UCLA, that's University of California, Los Angeles, and another from the College of Buddhist Studies. He's the founder and abbot of Dhamma Vijaya Buddhist Vihara in Los Angeles, in California. It is one of the first Buddhist temples in the US. He has been in service to the Dhamma for many decades, teaching among the Sri Lankan and American-born communities in the Los Angeles area. He has also trained and helped found many Dhamma centers and viharas around the US. Several temples in other states are affiliated with Dharma Vijaya being the parent temple. He is the author of several books. I'm sure those who are avid learners of Dhamma would have gone and read through his books. So I just wanted to welcome Bhante. We are grateful for your time today, Bhante.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, and to start our session on behalf of all the participants, we're gonna make Panchashili Yachana to Bhante. I request all the participants to fold their hands wherever they are at and join us in requesting Panchashila from Bhante. Okasa vandami Bhante Dvaratayena maya katang sabba paradhang khamatu me Bhante Dutiyam piyokasa vandami Bhante Dvaratayena maya katang sabba paradhang khamatu me Bhante Tatiyam piyokasa vandami Bhante Dvaratayena maya katang sabba paradhang khamatu me Bhante Okasa ahang Bhante Tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yachami anugraham katva silang dethame Bhante Dutiyam piyokasa ahang Bhante Tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yachami anugraham katva silang dethame Bhante Tatiyam piyokasa ahang Bhante Tisaranena saha panchasilang dhammang yachami anugraham katva silang dethame Bhante.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Saranaгаmanang sampunnang.
Bhante.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu micchāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccāchārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Rāmīre majjapamādātthāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sūrāmeraya majjapamādāṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Imāni pañcasīlāni sikkhapadāni samadhiyami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Evaṁ me sutaṁ ekam samayang bhagavā Sāvattiyang viharati jetavane anātha pindikassārāme tatra ko bhagavā bhikkhu āmantesi bhikkhavoti badante tite bhikkhu bhagavato paccassosun bhagavā etadvoca adicitta manuyuttena bhikkave bhikkhunā Panchanimitani kalena kalang manasika sabbani. Dear friends, I'm grateful to Mrs. Archana, Vasanik family and all of your friends invite me to give a Dhamma talk. Today's topic is a very important topic for not only meditators, all of us. Here, the sutta name called Vitakkasantthana Sutta. This sutta Buddha gave in our middle length 20th sutta. We translate as the removal of distracting thoughts. That's the way we translate. This sutta very important because here says the Buddha explained Adichitta Manuyuttena. Who are the Adichitta? Some people like you meditate, have been meditating, even achieve some jhanas, yet without knowing, with knowing, come to our mind defilements. Those defilements are maybe different ways. Here talking about 3 roots. These 3 roots called lobha, desa, moha. Lobha mean the desire, dvesa mean hatred, lobha, dvesa, moha mean illusion. These thought with these 3 truths coming to us, either one, we get in some kind of difficult, hard time. By the way, some of the children may be here, so therefore my duty to little bit explain, we observe 5 precepts, how, why we have to, as a Buddhist, not only really Buddhist, anyone in this planet, observe 5 precepts. Those people are the very peaceful, happy, and living very harmoniously with everybody's. These 5 precepts in Pali language, of course, you observe. It says, first one say, I will act for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I will refrain from harming any living beings. See, not only we are away from harming everybody, same time we will act welfare and happiness for everybody's. Second thing is, I will be generous, open-handed, take delight in the sharing. Again, I will refrain from taking what is not given. Not only we away from what is not given, same time we going to be generous, open-handed, and take delight in sharing things. Third thing is, I will refrain from sexual misconduct, mean I will care for the body, keeping it pure in all ways. Then the fourth one, I will refrain from lying. I will speak the truth, words mild, pleasant, and noble. When we do that, we are very happy people. Finally, fifth one, I will refrain from intoxicant, drinking, and taking drugs. I will care for the mind, keeping it pure, alert, and unconfused. These are the 5 precepts of meaning. This sutta, before that, this sutta is a very great for everybody's life. Western psychologists are really using this sutta for many reasons. This sutta explains 5 types of techniques. These 5 types of techniques, Western scholars are, Western psychologists are using for therapy. And before that, I have to explain a little bit another related to couple of suttas. In Majjhima Nikaya, 9th sutta is called Samma Ditti Sutta. In this Samma Ditti Sutta, our Lord Buddha explained to us 5 kind of food. What are these foods? Are actually 4 kind of foods explained to us. Sorry, not 5, 4. First one says Kabalinkara Hara. Of course, all of we have to survive, live. Therefore, either we eat rice, vegetables, some people are meat, fish, and so forth. Those are called eating called Kabalinkahara. However, today around the world, especially in the Western world, people are very picky. They don't eat whatever they get. They're looking at the manual, reading, and whether it is good for my diabetes, it is good for my cholesterol, and so forth. They are very picky. They don't eat whatever they have on the table. That is a good news. That is a very wonderful. Even our India and Sri Lanka, those countries also, people do that. That's a good thing. However, let us see other three type of food also. Kabalinkahara, passahara. Passa mean touching, holding, kissing, hugging, those type of food. Our senses, our eyes, our ears, our nose, our tongue, these senses also need food. Therefore, all the time we try to touch with the whole, and many ways we try to get many type of food through our eyes, to our ears, to our nose, to our mouth, and so forth, even our hands, so forth, physical body. Do we really careful for that? We have to question ourselves. If you do not careful, then we get this in Vitakkasantthana Sutta, explaining these three type of fruits are coming to us. Third thing called Mano Sanchetikahara. Mano Sanchetikahara means this mind also constantly needs the food. We thinking many ways, even I'm staying in Los Angeles, perhaps I'm right way thinking in Sri Lanka. Our mind goes here and there and everywhere, look like a monkey mind. Goes everywhere. Do we really control for them, our mind? If we not controlling, then we again, without knowing, we get these type of defilements. Finally, final one is a very interesting one. Chetikahara. Also not only mind, Chetikahara means in our previous life. We do not know something in this life. We did something in last life. Due to that, those previous experiences without knowing come to us. So sometime when you walk in the street, you never met in this life someone, but you know, I met with this person. I know this person, because you may have experiences last life. Therefore, these four type of food, we have to learn more and more and control our mind. Again, this when we go into many other sutta like Ambalattika Rahulavada Sutta, Buddha explaining to Venerable Ananda, saying, Venerable Rahula, saying, Rahula, Attabhyabhadaya nohoti, parabhyabhadaya nohoti, ubhyabhyabhadaya nohoti, tang kusalam. Attabhyabhadaya hoti, parabhyabhadaya hoti, ubhyabhyabhadaya hoti, tang akusalam. Buddha explaining what are the wholesome and what are the unwholesome. Unwholesome is anyone make a trouble and problems and difficulties to himself. It is called unwholesome act. Anyone make a help and have a positive thoughts and person doing very well himself, that is very wholesome act, also helping others wholesome act. Here in Western psychologists analyze that one too. What they are saying in Piaget and even Sigmund Freud and so forth, those, especially Piaget, he is saying Attabhyabhadaya hoti mean the sadistic character and masochistic character. Sigmund Freud explaining also different way, but same thing. Sadistic character means some people love to hurt others, mentally, physically, verbally, and today is our media is very rich, especially social media. We want to hurt some people are feeling, because without our knowing that roots coming from us to make trouble and problems and difficulties to other, hurting others, that sadistic character seed come up. As a result, we immediately spread some rumors against some people. That is the sadistic character. Buddha says that is unwholesome act. Then masochistic character means some people love to them himself making troubles and problems and difficulties to enjoy himself. That is also, Buddha says, unwholesome act. Now let us go to our main sutta. The main sutta here in we call Majjhima Nikaya, this Majjhima Nikaya, this sutta, very important one. We call it is in English way, we call the removal of destructive thought. You know, the Lord Buddha, when he give a sermon, most of time someone questioning or they go to the Buddha in the sermon hall, asking what are the monks you are talking, what is the course, do you have any questions, that way answer. However, in this sutta is quite different. This sutta, Vitakkasantthana Sutta, Buddha himself suggests to the monk, saying, monks, adichitta manuyuttena, someone developed the higher mental states. It means the jhanas, first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, those jhanas. Even that developed person may get time to time difficult problems. They, without knowing, they get their mind, bhikkhave, Buddha says, bhikkhave, what type of things, unwholesome thought, connected with desire, connected with the hatred, connected with delusion. By the way, these three roots are what we call main roots, unwholesome main roots. These unwholesome main roots, in according to the Abhidhamma way, there are first one we call lobha, or lobha we call desire. Desire, there are 8 type of this, explaining 8 type way lobha. Dvesha mean the, according to the Abhidharma way, again this dvesha has a 2 type of the mental state. Moha, delusion, has a 2 type states too. Among them, these roots, mula we call in Pali language mula, lobha, dosa, and moha are the 3 roots of the coming from in our mind. Lobha mean from root love, mean to clinging or attach itself, be renders. Then the dvesha mean the Pali, such a arrival from the term dosa, we call patiga, sometimes dosa, is the derived from dust, dus, dust, to be displaced Patiga is derived from the pati, agat again, and these roots, these three roots are making all the time trouble to us. Very interesting to tell you, in the first two, in other words, desire, lobha, and dvesa, in anger or hatred, cannot alone appear. Illusion have to support. With illusion, lobha, there's a moha. Without moha, cannot act dvesa or cannot act again lobha. However, illusion can itself alone act. In other words, illusion is a dangerous one among these three things. Without illusion, moha, people cannot have a hatred or desire. So these three things work, the three things not work together, either hatred join illusion, or desire join with illusion. That's the way acting. In the first one, the Buddha says, if someone has these type of mental states, without your knowing, you have sometimes desire, anger, or delusion. To remove that, Buddha give a 5 type of techniques we call nimitta. These 5 kind of techniques, when we follow, it is not only removal of destructive thought, again, our bad habit also we can remove if we follow. For example, the first one says in the first one explained in Pali language, the Buddha says, nimittang agamma yang nimittang manasikaroto uppajjanti papakanang akusalanang vitakkanang chandupasang hitanang. Saying when we have attention should be, it is called, attention should be divided from the unwholesome, unwanted thought and given to another thought. In other words, in the Western psychologists are saying thought displacement. They are using that term, thought displacement. The Buddha saying anya nimittang manasika tabbang. Anya nimittang manasika tabbang mean, Buddha give a very good example also here. Buddha says how we as a person, it is given like a carpenter, very skillful carpenter, how he does, skillful carpenter or his assistant, might knock out, remove an extra nail or pick by getting another one. In other words, there's a very, in the carpenter found out very dirty and rooted some nail. To remove what he get another nail, good one, and pushing that one out. Likewise, Buddha says, if you have an anger thought, practice loving kindness. In other words, when a child play with a gun, some houses in America has legally or legally, I don't know, their houses have a, they call for their protection, some small pistol. Child do not know what is the child does not know what is going on. Child thinking that play gun, he might get in that one playing. Smart mother never jump in to get that gun from him. What she does, nearby taking the ball and playing like that playing. Child jump to the ball, mommy removing that gun. Similarly, the Buddha says replacement instead of these Western psychologists call it a thought displacement. Instead of this, something have to do. You know, we do have a here Sunday school. Sometimes children, once a couple of months ago, the brother and sister came here because not that they could not come to Sunday school. They came extra classes, different day. They came, I believe, Monday or Tuesday came to me. While they came in, they are newcomers coming from Sri Lanka. They have a like a small iPad. They are playing. Daughter little aggressive. Daughter draft from brother and playing. Then they started fighting, big fight. Then finally, I took the brother, take to the garden and go and around and show in these flowers, and this is roses, this is a Lee, and this is a sea. I have a wonderful watercolor and so forth. I show in, and coming back, he even doesn't know whether they fought each other. Come in and give a good hug to the sister. Same way, we have to replace our thought. That is the Western psychologists all the time do that when someone have a problem, difficult time, they use this Buddha's techniques. Then second one is called the Buddha's word. Second one is called examine the danger in the thoughts. Thus, these thoughts are unwholesome. These are not good for us. These are result suffering. Like that way thinking is have to think of the consequences. Adinava. Adinava means what is the consequences? What is the results happening if you do this thing? For this is actually, Buddha gave this sermon to the higher achieve enlightenment being, in other words, who have a jhanas, very developed mind monks. However, Western psychologists used to people to get rid of their problem. For that, what they do, adinava, mean the result. If you do this thing, if, for example, I wrote a book, is called, one of book, my name is called The Bodhi Tree Grows in LA. There's a chapter talking about gambler, how I could convince the gambler not to gambling using this Buddha's teaching, especially this Sutta, Vitakkasantthana Sutta, second one. You know, while I was in Thailand, I really interested in going looking to see the place is called Rehabilitation Center Alcoholic and Drugs Addict. So it is far from Bangkok, in the very rural area, over 50 acres. And there are many small kutis. So in charge was an American monk, and he took tour. I cannot believe, so sad. Those small kutis, small rooms, some people are like they sleep and a lot of throw up and dirty, ugly, so it smell horrible. Cannot enter those rooms, very bad. I told, hey, you are American man, you should know better than here. Why you put these people like that, horrible, like a hell? He laughed at me, asked me, Bhante, do you know evolution therapy? I said, I don't know. Evolution therapy means, Bhante, nothing else. We saw the consequences. Evolution therapy means consequences. We give them to a chemical, some herbal medicine to throw up, and they're going to sleep. When they wake up, they are really look like a devil. And we so in even get in the mirror saying, hey, look at yourself, how dirty, how ugly, and you see your face. That's the way we do evolution therapy. Even though Anna Freud, Sigmund Freud's daughter, saying evolution therapy different way she expressed, she says the kind of way some people consequences looking at different way. However, she also saying this is the way we can overcome our problem too. Then the third thing the Buddha says, again, then Buddha says, if you try first try like a thought displacement instead of this thought, put the new thought. Instead of anger, put the loving kindness. If does not work out, look at the second thing. Second thing is look in the consequences. If you do this thing, what has happened? If I gambling, what happened to my family, my wife, my children? Maybe I may not able to pay my mortgage. I may not be able to pay tuition for children. Then people are around me saying very horrible, bad thing even to my children. So better to not to gambling like that, have to see consequences. Third thing is the Buddha say, the third way Buddha explaining to the us, the Pali term is, yes, Pali word saying third one, then chittang asati amanasikarang apajyato. It means the Buddha say in thought connected with desire, with the hatred, and with the delusion are abandoned in him and subside. Abandon and subside. It is give a very good example. Buddha says someone has an eye, he or she can see very well, but look like a close-in eye, don't look at that one. For example, when we see in the TV, you saw some horrible and fighting, bloody, and shooting each other kind of a very disturbing one. Immediately you can change the channel and go to the other one. Or you can stop TV. Similarly, Buddha says, stop like someone has an eye, he close in eyes, I cannot see, that is the way. Oh, there's a beautiful movie I used to see maybe over 25 years ago. I saw that one. It's called Beautiful Mind. In Beautiful Mind is a very interesting movie. It is Nobel Prize winner John Nash. Professor Nash is a Harvard University professor. He had a very horrible sicknesses called schizophrenia. As a result, he's really, really suffer a lot. Long story. And this John Nash, many ways, did a many type of medicine, yet he could not remove his thought. Here is a young girl in near to him and jumping, dancing. Here is his friend coming and pushing him and hugging him, putting the hand and so forth. So many nonsense things come to his mind. John Nash did so many electric shock and so many things did not come over. Finally, he followed these third techniques. These are my imagination. Nothing, no, there is a girl, no, is a friend. Those are the imagine thing. I don't want to see. I don't want to see. That's a way he could overcome. In fact, he won the Nobel Prize winner. As a mathematician, he could not get, yet the making him an economist, got a Nobel Prize. It is a real true story. So this third one, if we use ourselves, even the Vinaya rule, the Buddha explained to the monks, some of 7 type of things, some of them we cannot solve the problem, like putting under the carpet. Let it not to think of, not to get, not to think of that, let it go, don't hold. All of we get in a trouble. What is the reason? We don't learn, we don't know how to let it go. Let it go, don't hold. This is the way Buddha explained to us. Then finally, again, that one is called sublimation. In the Western psychology, is called that sublimation. Sublimation, through sublimation, they are try to treat their patient using different new techniques, even electric shot or whatever, doing that, they try to treat them to overcome that. Then the fourth one is called examine the condition that led to the arising of the unwholesome thoughts. That is a very important thing, thought analysis. Where coming these thoughts, have to analyze. In the very interesting Jataka parable, you may remember, it is in the I think Jataka parable 322, Dabba Jataka. Even children, all of our Sunday school children knows this story. In the Dabba Jataka, the rabbit, very tired, and young rabbit sleeping under the mango tree, thinking if any time this earth break out, what happened to me? While he's sleeping, napping daytime, in one of mango fallen down. My God, he thought that this is the rabbit, and his shock must be the sound of the earth breaking apart. Must be the sound of the breaking apart the earth. And I must run for my life. Thinking this rabbit running. Then other rabbits are what's going, oh, come on. The earth breaking apart. Then all of rabbit join, then like a lone story and any other tigers, the other animal, deers, tigers, elephants, and so forth, all running. They are getting the message saying the earth breaking apart. Then finally, lion heard this one, the king of the forest. He stopped them. And he knew these guys are going to die, go to the ocean. And he stopped, what is going on? Who saw that? Asked elephant, then says a tiger, said to me, then buffalo told to me, then deer told to me, then finally came to the rabbit. Rabbit say, oh, myself, I saw, I heard the earth breaking apart. So come on with me, and put in his tiger, the lion put in top of his head, keeping the bear, went to the rabbit, taken to this mango tree, asked, where did you see? Then saw this mango. Say, see, like this, we are most of time happening also similar thing. Our mind running here and there and nothing else. Those thoughts, therefore, all the time something happen, we have to analyze thought analysis. Thought analysis is a very important in Western psychologists, especially when they counsel they go into the people young time, what happened, you were abused, or you were accused, or what type of thing happened to you young time. Like that, many ways they are asking questions, and they analyze those thought analysis. That's a very important. We are getting all the time, sometimes ourselves, we imagine things. When we imagine without knowing, we making ourselves trouble, we make others trouble. Therefore, the Buddha says, when your mind to come, either raga in the desire, or hatred, anger, or illusion, analyze your thought, like a Western psychologist says. Finally, the Buddha gave a very good advice. He himself practiced. You remember when he got a full enlightenment under the Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya. Sitting he says, my blood vein and burn, and I never ever move until I get full enlightenment. Similarly, here the Buddha explained to the monks what you should have to do, even it doesn't work out at the fourth thing, final one. With desire, with hatred, and with the delusion, then with his teeth clinched and his tongue pressed against the roof of his mouth, he or she should be down construction and crush mind with the mind. Press mind in the mind. Give a very good example, like a strong man and a weak man beat, push down. Similarly, what you have to do, your teeth clicked and your tongue pressed against the roof of your mouth and beat down. And in other words, Western psychology say this is called willpower. When you have a willpower, you can overcome those problems. Those are the things Buddha explained these 5 techniques. We can like Western psychologists are saying these 5 things. Like first one says thought displacement, evocation therapy, sublimation, and thought analysis, willpower. Those 5 ways, any kind of problem, our weaknesses we have, we can overcome. You know, the very wonderful poem I have found out, I actually using to teach my Sunday school children in the anger, how to this among them lobha, dvesam in the anger or hatred or ill will or those are the things we among the roots, very difficult, hard one, we get in trouble. This poet say this is the way. When you lost your temper, that's a topic. When you have lost your temper, you have lost your reason too. You will not be proud of anything which in anger you may do. When in anger you have spoken and been by emotion led, you will have uttered something that you will wish you would never said. In anger, you will never do a kindly deed or wise, but may this for which you will feel you should apologize. In looking back upon your life and all you have lost or made, you will never find a single time when anger ever paid. So cultivate calm and peace and grow wiser as you age. Never act nor speak a word when overcome by anger. Remember, without fail, that when you temper flies, you will never do a worthy things, a decent deed or wise. See, this is a wonderful poem. I really like it. In again saying this, a second technique, the Buddha asks us to say, look at the consequences. What is the result? When we do that, when we know we should not do these kind of things, we really never going to do any wrong thing. If you have any question, please ask. This is the time you to ask question. You have another 7 minutes. Anyone can ask any questions.
Yes, Bhante. Sadhu, 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 Bhante. Thank you very much for your Dhamma talk. We will open up the forum for question and answer. Please raise your hand. If you have question for Bhante, we will allow you to unmute and you can ask the question to Bhante.
Not only this sutta, anything you can ask, no problem.
That is very kind of you, Bhante. Yes, please go ahead. Yeah, just raise your hand in the talk and we can take the question for Bhante. Bhante, I do not see. I see one question, Bhante. Yes, please go ahead.
Vandami Bhante. Bhante, my question is like the technique of crushing the mind with the mind. I mean, can you please elaborate on this one, Bhante?
It is say in the sutta, it's what a Westerner is saying, like a willpower, crushing the mind to mind, mean when we, for example, I angry with someone, then before I act, I have to strongly say, no, 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 I will not do that. By the way, why we react right way? There are, we have a mano, chitta, vijnana, 3 words in Pali language. In English, of course, all of you translate as mind. But these are the 3 states. Mano, chitta, vijnana. Vijnana means the very, some kind of sign. For example, when I looking at very, very far, someone coming, I do not know the man or woman or anyone, just signal. Even though I don't know the man or woman or the animal or someone coming, just signal. And gradually someone came to my temple and ring the bell. So I know this is the man, George, who came last week and shouted and yelled at me and threatened to me, get a gun and so forth. I notice immediately that is called mano. Mana is recognize the person. Mano pubbangama dhamma in the Dhammapada first person says that one too. Recognize, realize this is the George. Yet I never get any action or anything. What is the action coming from? Chitta, mood, immediately get action. And I go to get a 911 call in. But mano time can the change? No, that man came to apologize. He not going to harm to me. Like that, mano can play the game without any making trouble anyone. Chitta is strong, mano, that is why mano pubbangama dhamma mano setta mano maya, like a Buddha explained, mind is a forerunner, mind is the leader. Therefore, mind we have to get strong before not allow chitta to get any action. That way we can control our senses.
Sadhu, 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 Bhante. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay.
I see one question in the chat box, Bhante.
Yes.
Do you agree with the aversion showing consequences theory? Does it hold good as per Buddhist theory?
Could you kindly repeat again?
Yes, Bhante. Do you agree with the aversion that is showing consequences theory? Does it hold good as per Buddhist theory?
Yeah, of course, if we applied the Buddhist theory, even very simple thing, you see, even the before 5 precepts, we get Buddhang Saranang Gacchami, Dhamman Saranang Gacchami, Sangham Saranang Gacchami. Even we really know this is the real meaning if we follow whole world peace. Buddha mean what? Buddha mean wisdom, knowledge, perfections, and wise. In Buddha mean our Siddhartha Gautama's title he earned spending millions and millions time in samsara practicing 10 perfections. So Buddham Saranang Gacchami, not I'm respecting to the Siddhartha Gautama or Buddha. Meanwhile, I'm saying, Venerable Sir, I want to follow that wiseness. I want to be a skillful person. I want to be a knowledgeable person. Like a positive thought we earn in our heart and mind. Not to be down ourselves. I want to be a wise person, intelligent person, skillful person, while I'm respecting. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Dhamma means, of course, there are 14 type of meaning. Here, Dhamma, Buddha's teaching, I go to refuge the Dhamma, mean righteousness. I want to be a righteous people, a good person. How I become a good person? I do not want to make a trouble and problem or difficulties myself. I do not want to harm and make in trouble others. That is the Dhamman Saranang Gacchami. While respecting teachings of Buddha, myself, I have to get the heart. Sangham Saranang Gacchami. Sangha mean what in the Pali and Sanskrit or Hindu or any our Indo-Aryan language. Sangha mean unity, harmony, working together, sharing together. Why people respecting the monk? They know the Sangha members are sharing things together. They are sharing knowledge, sharing material things, they are sharing their whatever they get from people. That is called Sangha. Similarly, I want to share and a teamwork with my mom, with my dad, with my family, with my co-workers. That type of positive thought going to get our heart. If even before 5 precepts, if you think that way, I want to be a smart person, I want to be a good person, I want to be a team worker. That way, everybody's thinking this world, that is a very peaceful world.
Thank you, Bhante. Bhante, I have a question, Bhante, if you allow me to ask that. So in one of the techniques, Bhante, we are taking our tongue and trying to press it against the top of our mouth. And that is, you call it willpower. So what are we trying to do here, Bhante, is just to avoid speaking anything at that moment and just keep our tongue in control. We are just keeping it pressed against our
exactly. Buddha asking to do this PIP techniques, that one, willpower, wish power. That's a very important. Our Siddhartha Gautama never ever get enlightenment if he did not have that wish power and willpower. Also, you say, Panditji, where you are living?
I am in Colorado, Bhante.
Colorado.
Yes.
You think of yourself, your life is your success person. How you become a success? Because you have a willpower. You are not blaming this one or that one or anyone. Life is sometimes pale. We cannot avoid that, but you never sad or upset. Let it go and move on, with greater wish power. If you do that, then you are the successful person in the economic way also. The Buddha is the greatest person. He never ever say to the people not to earn money. In fact, so many sutta. One sutta Buddha says, try to make a lot of money. If you make a lot of money, you can yourself support your family, your family, your wife and children. You can support your relatives. You can donate to the religious people, and happy life. That's the way Buddha says. Therefore, when we successfully doing working, Buddha never ever putting down. Buddha says, when rich people, or never putting down poor people. Why people are poor? Because they may not have a willpower. Chanda, Chitta, Virya, Vibhansana, there are many places. Virya is the greatest things. Even 10 perfection. Dana paramita dana sila nekkamma panya videna panchamang kanti satcham aditthana is a very important thing. Every doctrine, Buddha says, if you want to be a successful person, could you maybe Sigalova Sutta, Uthana Sampada, Arakka Sampada, Kalyana Mitata. Uthana Sampada means you have to have a very right effort, energy, willpower, wish power. I can, I will, I do. That's a very important thing. In personally my life, I'm now 80 years old monk. Since my childhood, all the time I'm thinking, I can, I will, I do. That's way that's a technique to develop our meditation, develop our many kind of skill, develop in your business, everything. Don't give up. Go forward. Buddha says, Ma nivatta abhikkama. Ma nivatta, don't stop. Abhikkama, move on. That's the way Buddha says.
Thank you very much, Bhante. Are there any other questions for Bhante on the call? Please raise your hand.
So then, I would like to bless you. Thank you.
Yes, Bhante, we request on behalf of all the participants to take
Yes.
the session towards conclusion. Give us blessings, Bhante.
Thank you so much, everybody's. Bhavatu Sabba Mangalan Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Buddha Anubhavena Sata Sotti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabba Mangalan Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Dhamma Anubhavena Sata Sotti Bhavantu Te Bhavatu Sabba Mangalan Rakhantu Sabba Devata Sabba Sangha Anubhavena Sada Sotti Bhavantu Te. Thank you so much again.
Vandami Bhante, thank you very much, Bhante. We are grateful for your time and grateful for the Dhammadana today, Bhante.
Yeah.
And we wish to see you again with some other Sutta, Bhante, on this session, Bhante.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Bhante, do I have your permission to close today's session, Bhante?
Yeah, please. You can put in the internet this one. I'm so happy if you can put it. Okay.
Yes, Bhante. Yes, this is already being put on in YouTube, Bhante. We
Okay.
will share the link with you, Bhante. That's not
Okay,
a problem.
thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Bhante. Vandami Bhante, Namo Buddhaya. We will, I just wanted to kind of announce for the next week session that we would have on this series. So we will be meeting again at the same time. And our topic for next week is ethical issues in Buddhist business practices. And our Bhante is Venerable Vimala Buddhi from Myanmar. So this would be a very interesting topic to know about how personal and ethical businesses are to be carried out as per the Buddha's principle. So Venerable Vimala Buddhi, and our topic is ethical issues in Buddhist business practices. So we will see you again on the same forum, same time. Until we meet again, it's Namo Buddhaya to all.